Have you ever looked around and wondered how some people manage to build entirely new income streams online, even when they don't seem to have any specialized skills or insider knowledge? Well, today we're breaking down a highly effective system from a recent masterclass. It's called the You Don't Have to Be an Expert Blueprint. This explainer is all about leveraging the power of AI to take freely available expert knowledge and actually monetize it, literally without ever needing to be the expert yourself. Let's just dive right in and see exactly how this whole thing works.
Think about your own scrolling habits for a second here. Every single day, people consume millions of hours of YouTube videos. Creators put out this incredible, high-quality content, and we just soak it all up, right? But here is the massive gap. Very few people actually profit from consuming or even creating that information. Half the time, the original creators aren't even fully monetizing their own knowledge, and the viewers, they definitely aren't making any tangible money from the content they watch. It's just this sea of great information floating out there, completely unmonetized. Okay, let's dive into this because you might be wondering, hey, if the info is already free on YouTube, why on earth would anyone pay for it? Well, it's pretty simple. A free YouTube video is great, but it's usually totally unorganized. It makes the viewer hunt around for the specific answers they desperately need. People are incredibly willing to buy nicely packaged, specific information that solves a direct problem or desire. They're literally paying for the shortcut. They want a nicely packaged PDF, a book, or a guide that just hands them the exact steps, zero fluff included. To actually execute this, we're going to follow a very specific path. We'll cover the knowledge gap, brainstorming with Gemini, drafting content, designing in Canva, selling on Gumroad, and finally, driving targeted traffic. From a macro perspective, you can really break this down into 4 distinct phases. Phase 1 is AI brainstorming. Phase 2 is content generation. Phase 3 is formatting and design. And Phase 4 is automated selling. And honestly, the absolute best part about this entire blueprint, you can pull almost all of this off using completely free tools. All right, let's kick things off with Step 1, brainstorming with Google Gemini. If you aren't familiar with it yet, Gemini is Google's incredibly powerful internet-connected AI, and it's basically going to be our free research assistant. But notice the huge difference in how we actually talk to it here. If you start with a super broad prompt, like asking for 10 viral how-to topics, Gemini is going to give you decent but kind of generic ideas. You really have to push the AI. By asking a follow-up question like, can you be specific, you literally force it to drill down into highly specific, validated niches. In our source materials example, the AI generated a fantastic, super specific idea, flipping furniture on Facebook. Now that is a tangible skill people actively want to learn. Once you've nailed down that specific niche, here is a crazy effective prompt to use. Find me the 5 best YouTube videos for flipping furniture. Because Gemini is hooked right up to the internet, it can instantly access YouTube, scrape the platform, and find the absolute best expert videos on that exact topic. And it doesn't just hand you a list of links. No way. It summarizes the key takeaways and the core strategies from each video right there in the chat. Just like that, you instantly have the best expert knowledge right at your fingertips. Moving right along to Step 2, drafting the content. So now we take the brilliant strategies from those expert videos and actually structure them into an ebook. But the absolutely crucial point here is control. When you ask the AI to analyze those videos and build a step-by-step outline for your book, you absolutely must include this exact phrase: do not create the book at this stage. Why? Well, because if you aren't perfectly clear, the AI might just get super eager, rush ahead, and generate a messy wall of text, or start churning out weird images before your chapter outline is even finalized. You always want to approve the skeleton of the book before you let it flesh everything out. This really illustrates the sheer speed of this entire workflow. Just think about this timeline. In 1 single minute, Gemini generates a comprehensive chapter outline. Over the next 5 minutes, you prompt it chapter by chapter to write out the detailed text. Within 15 minutes, you can ask Gemini to create customized diagrams. Think along the lines of a flowchart explaining the Facebook Marketplace algorithm, or maybe a cool before and after image of a flipped dresser. Within 30 minutes, you have all the research, the written content, and the visual assets fully generated. It's like magic. Okay, let's jump straight into Step 3, designing in Canva. This is where the magic really happens, transforming that AI text images into a tangible, premium product that people actually want to buy. And Canva is remarkably intuitive, plus you don't even need the paid version. You simply open a free blank Canva or grab a nice ebook template. Next, upload those custom images Gemini generated for you. From there, it's basically just drag and drop. You paste your chapter text, adjust the fonts and colors to make it look super clean, and drop in your images. The source material even notes that you can use Gemini to brainstorm a catchy book title, like Under 200 Flip, which you then just drop right onto the cover. Once you're happy with the whole shebang, you just hit download and boom, you have a finalized, beautiful PDF.
Next up is step 4, selling on Gumroad.
So, we've got our product. Now we need a way to process payments without getting totally bogged down in some technical nightmare. The standout detail here, the cost. $0. It costs absolutely nothing to sign up for Gumroad. You don't need a complex merchant account, you don't need to learn how to code a website, and you certainly don't need to understand crazy payment gateways. You just upload your PDF, set your price, and Gumroad hosts your 24/7 automated storefront. It handles all the payment processing and automatically emails the product to the buyer, whether you're wide awake or fast asleep. Now, you might be thinking, what's the catch? Let's talk about how Gumroad actually makes its money, because the transparency here is fantastic. If you drive your own traffic to your Gumroad link, the fee is super low, just 10% plus 50 cents per transaction. However, Gumroad also has this awesome built-in Discover marketplace, where users are actively searching for ebooks and courses. If their algorithm finds a buyer for you that you never would have found on your own, Gumroad takes a 30% fee, leaving you with 70%. It's a completely performance-based system, which is a total win-win. Of course, having a storefront is great and all, but if nobody knows it exists, you definitely aren't going to make a dime. So, the ultimate question becomes, how exactly do you find specific buyers for your brand new product? Which brings us perfectly to step 5, driving targeted traffic. The internet is literally filled to the brim with millions of people broadcasting their exact problems and desires every single second of the day. And you can tap into those pain points in a couple of highly effective ways. First up, through X, formerly Twitter. You can dive into specific text-based hubs where people are already discussing things like side hustles or furniture flipping and interact directly with that niche audience. Or if you want to scale up much faster, you can jump into meta ads. The source points out a brilliant example of a simple ad showing a scratched $50 dresser that turned into a $400 profit with just 15 minutes of work. You can use free video AI tools or a simple app like CapCut to create these visual, highly targeted ads that stop the scroll and drive clicks right over to your Gumroad page. As we look at this entire workflow, it's really vital to understand the curation model at play here. The source explicitly emphasizes this point. This is not copying. You absolutely aren't plagiarizing. You are acting as a curator. You're taking scattered, unorganized expert knowledge, utilizing AI to synthesize and structure it, and then packaging it into original content that beautifully solves a very specific pain point. You are providing real, tangible value through organization and clarity. The truth is, in the world of online business, saturation is mostly a myth, simply because so few people actually execute. Most people will watch an explainer of a system like this and never even attempt it. But now, you have the blueprint. You know about the free tools, and you know the exact steps to take. So the only question left to ask yourself is, what specific problem are you going to solve first?